Seeing Des take that first punt touch on the punt return back, is that just what you guys expect now out of him?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say expect, but it's definitely that's the standard that he has set for everybody. And in testament to all those guys blocking too, like the best part about having an elite return guy back there, whether it's kick return or punt return, is those guys on the front line know. Like, anytime I get my block and I do my job just a little bit harder, really, really big special things can happen. So I think that's what you saw happen there on that first one.
He did have that first one he took back, but I think there was one later in the game where he, I don't know, I guess waited to make a cut or make a decision. Does he need to maybe be more decisive, I guess, when he gets
Yeah, 100%. And ultimately he just got to trust whatever turn's going to try to hit and just hit it. We didn't do some stuff like that last year. That's some new stuff. So ultimately you got to learn from it, which he does. He knew it right away when he came over. It looked like backyard football a little bit. So we got that cleaned up on Sunday for sure.
There was a couple of big returns throughout the game, but how would you assess the overall blocking of your unit?
Unbelievable job. All those guys. And the neat thing about that unit, that's something we stressed starting back in spring ball. Right? Like our mantra was +2 on special teams, and then we talk about riding the bull. Like it's an 8-second battle when you're in there. And our guys have really taken to that, and it starts with the leadership, right? Like anytime you see in the springtime when you guys are out there at practice, like you see Javon McIntyre, you see Kyle Lewis, you see Heem Biles, but you see our best football players, right, busting their tails on ST. So that matriculates through the whole program. And so ultimately what you saw from those guys is what they've been doing since the springtime. And so I couldn't be happier as a coach. Like you see guys like A.B. Ibrahim, getting out there doing his job, winning grade. Nick Lappy, he played 26 reps on ST, had a 100% grade. That's really hard to do. Had a huge pancake block at the point of attack on Kenny Johnson's block. Luke Delgadio, another guy coming off a season-ending injury last year. Josh Altsman. So there's a lot of guys that have poured a lot into this program, and so to get to see them as a coach go out there and have that success, there's nothing better than that.
Kenny Johnson also had a long return on kick return duty. Obviously, he's an experienced hand back there, but just how have you seen him evolve as far as his recognition skills and just becoming just better as multiple years as a kick return?
No, that's a good question, because all the schemes are different, and that's where for Kenny, trusting it has always been something, and so I was really proud of him to see, like last year he would kind of be a little bit robotic back there at times on kick return. Like we would say the return's going to hit here, but at the end of the day you got to be a football player, you got to have great feel. And I thought on that return, like you saw him stretch, and that thing opened up like the Red Sea, and so he creased it right there. Now he's got to go finish that thing. Anytime we get to the 30-yard line, you got to hit another gear and go get in the end zone. But then it was also really neat to see him at punt returner too, get in there and actually hit some returns right there, getting vertical against their safe look, and stealing some yards there. We talk about being yard gremlins out there at punt return. So that was good to see for him.
A minute ago you said +2 and ride the bull.
Mm-hmm.
What does +2 mean?
So I always talk about special teams, 6 seconds is about kind of that average play. A special teams play is going to be the longest play that you play, just because of the time and space, the yardage. So everything we do is +2, dating back to spring. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it a little bit longer. Right? It's in the meeting room too. We're going to focus a little bit better. Right? When we do reps, we're going to strain a little bit longer because we know we have elite returners. We have Des Reed back there. The guy, he's not human. He's not of this planet. Right? You've got Kenny Johnson. You've got Deuce Spann. Right? We've got elite returners. So it's our job to make those guys look really dang good. And so if we can just strain just a little bit more, and that's what hurt us last year. And again, that to me is what this is all about. Going into year 2, right? It's all about us getting better. And you saw that game 1. Right? And there's still plenty to clean up. But that's kind of what the mantra is. We show bull riding videos. J.B. Monty and Bushwhacker rode him for 8 seconds. Some good stuff.
Sam Carpenter had ample opportunity to get some kickoffs under his belt. Bukowski hit the first couple field goals of his collegiate career. Just how would you assess how those two performed against you?
Yeah, I think Sammy Carpenter, just what a great teammate, number one, great human being. So proud of how he's handled everything from springtime to now. And really awesome to get to see him go out there and have an opportunity to handle the kickoff duty and take advantage of that opportunity too, right? Because at the end of the day, he's got to take advantage of it. That's what he did. Now I wish we got the one back from the 20. We can't put that ball out of bounds. He knows that. But it's also a good learning example for our whole football team, obviously, with Malachi getting the penalty that led to us kicking off from the 20. So it's a great thing to learn from week 1. But really proud of him. 4-0 hangs, 5-6 yards deep. Just can't speak high enough for what he did. Now we got to get his leg back underneath him because 12 kickoffs is a lot. And then Trey, I love the look in his eye. You talk about a freshman who's only been on campus for really 2 months, coming out there, winning the job the way that he did, being steely-eyed on game day, first time, like whatever, 55,000 people at Acrisure, and just the look in his eye on warm-up, like I went up to Coach Dews, I'm like, man, this guy's got it. You know, and then to see him go out there, obviously they had the low PAT, we'll get that cleaned up, but man, he goes in there and banks 2 field goals after that. I mean, it says a lot about him. I'm really excited about where he's at and moving forward.
Going back to last year, how easy was it to get those guys like Javon and Kyle to like buy into special teams and recognize that as a really important part of the game?
I mean, I wouldn't say easy, you know, but what makes it easy is the staff. We got great staff that buys into special teams. Like they're echoing everything I'm saying in their meeting rooms. When we go on the field, all the coaches in the program, whether it's GA, support staff, you know, obviously full-time coaches are coaching their faces off. So like that creates the buy-in. And then from there, it's just my job to make it a heck of a lot of fun. And then obviously you got to have success, you know, and that's the best part. You have success game one. Like now the guys know, okay, like there was even more guys on Monday and they're watching tape on Central, which I mean that's obviously a coach's dream. It's why we do it. So really excited.
I don't think there were huge parts of the passing game, but how did you see your tight ends play?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, when we were called upon, we did our job. Obviously, I wish Malachi on a 3rd and 18 up the seam there. I wish he finishes that catch. We expect him to, and he knows that. But then he responded and obviously had the nice 33-yard touchdown there on the little slide screen. So, you know, like we took advantage of the opportunities that we were given. Now in the run game, I thought we were physical. There's still things to clean up for sure. You know, I think we had 5 pancakes, which is the most we've had in the game since I've been here. So just really love like the group collectively, like doing what we're called on. You know, it don't matter what Coach Bell asks us to do. We're just going to do it the best of our ability. And then when the opportunities come, we'll take advantage of them.
The snap distribution was pretty even amongst the tight ends. Is there anyone that you feel like maybe pulled away a little bit more to try to get more snaps on this coming week?
Yeah, I think that was by design. I mean, I think all of them did kind of what we expected them to do. I wouldn't say anybody necessarily pulled away. I thought Justin Holmes, just obviously don't know a ton about him being a transfer. I thought he really rose to the occasion and looked even better than I was anticipating, just in terms of operating, understanding what was going on, which you kind of expect from an old guy that's played a lot of snaps at 2 different schools and 3 different offenses. So I was really pleased with him. Obviously, Jake really pleased with what he does all the time. He's a consistent war daddy. And then Malachi, you know, Malachi's a young guy. You know, I think we take it for granted that he's been here, but he's only been here since last June. You know, and only played 45 snaps last season. So I thought he came in and the moment wasn't too big for him. And the best part is that he responded after the drop. You know, and that's something for him dating back to last year and even in the spring. Like if something bad happened, that's when usually he would start to kind of go in the jar a little bit, but he did a good job handling that.
You have Dez and Kenny returning kicks, and I know Deuce is kind of in there as well. Where's the confidence level in Deuce to go out there if he's called upon, and anyone else that's kind of in that area, maybe potentially getting looks back there?
Oh yeah, big Deuce, big horse, run hard, man. Yeah, I mean, I think with Deuce, like I'm excited about him. I have a ton of confidence in him. The way we rep things, like, you know, if Kenny goes down or Kenny needs a blow, I feel really, really good about putting him in there and allowing him to go execute too. You know, and that's the beauty of having some depth there. And you know, I don't think we necessarily had that last year. So I really like Deuce. I like Blue Hicks too. Obviously, you see how special he can be with the ball in his hand, whether it's 2 hands or 1. So yeah, I like all those guys back there.
Jacob, how do you guys as a coaching staff just kind of manage the risk and reward situation as it pertains to Dez returning punts? The reward obviously being that this guy can take it to the house at any point in time, but the risks being that that's a potentially injury prone position, just getting smacked back there.
Yeah, you know, I think that's obviously a great question. You know, it starts with Big L, Coach Lindsey. You know, he's a tough-nosed guy. He's like, you know, whatever we need to help this football team, we're going to do. And so, like, that's the way we always look at it. Like, right, wrong, or indifferent, me as a coach, like, I'm always going to err on the reward part of things. That's just who I am as a person. We're going to be ultra-aggressive. You know, Coach Dews brought me here to be aggressive. And you know what, like, at the end of the day, like, Dez is a dynamic guy, and it's also going to help his stock, too. Like I talked to him about, like, you want to be, you know, an elite guy at the next level, you go out there and catch punts, and he's continued to get better at that, too, like, just actually truly fielding punts. You pair that with his skill set, like, that makes him a different animal. So, you know, I think for us, like, man, we're going to put him back there as much as we can and get the ball in his hands in many ways as possible, whether it's offense or special teams.
Good. Thanks, Coach.